Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. It's Evelyn.
And Sarah.
And today, for our fourth episode, we're going to be talking about learning and growing in college. So I feel like first, we can just kind of talk about the general schoolwork of college, because it's kind of like a culture shock when you get here.
Yeah.
One of the things is just the difference in like exams and schoolwork and kind of knowing how to study and knowing what you have to do for each class.
Definitely.
So I'm in my second year of college. I feel like I should kind of preface that. I'm a sophomore. It's almost the end of my first semester, and you're a freshman.
Yeah, I'm a freshman right now, so I've been at college for a total of 3 months.
Yeah.
So definitely still kind of a shock to me with the amount of like hours I'm putting in at the library studying for different exams. Like just the fact that the way it clicked in my brain, like that exams are weighted so much more heavily, number one, and number two, that like my realization just shifted into like perspectives almost, like, oh crap, I actually have to study for this exam, which I would never in high school, or like just the work that I get done like weeks earlier than I'm supposed to. Like I was so scared of that in the beginning.
It's definitely a lot more work, and every class is also super different. Every professor is super different. I feel like knowing what needs to be done for each class specifically, and like some classes you can just go to class and take notes and then you're set for the exam, but in some classes you have to do like 3 times the work outside of class to make sure you understand everything. And I feel like a big part of that, which is super helpful, is like syllabi, and I think syllabi. And I feel like when teachers give it to you, I think I got them in high school too. Like I always had some kind of syllabus for a class, but I never really read it. But in college, it's so helpful because you can see how everything's weighted. You can see when everything's due, and you can kind of just tell what kind of teacher it is and what their priorities are and what their focuses are. And I feel like that's like a cheat code to college. Like if you read the syllabus and you understand what the teacher's expecting, you'll be set.
I definitely agree, actually. Like reading a syllabus or like expecting what to know before I took any college course ended up being really helpful. And I say this because at first I was terrified of like seeing the syllabus. Like I got so overwhelmed with seeing like I was taking like 3-4 credit classes, and like all of them like pushed out these giant syllabus or syllabi or whatever, and they were like just pages of words. And I was just so overwhelmed by seeing that. But like now, like kind of knowing that all 5 of the pages that were like posted is literally exactly what to like expect. Like so like just now knowing that, I feel like up front it's like it was very overwhelming at first, but like now like going into like next semester, I feel like I'm gonna be so much more prepared, or like so much more comfortable like seeing those syllabi and like kind of like getting a feel of like what I'm actually gonna be doing for the next 15 weeks.
I also love to use the syllabi to make like a spreadsheet, which is kind of like also a cheat code and life hack, because I just get all these assignments, and instead of kind of being overwhelmed and going week to week being like, oh, what's due this week, I have it all on a spreadsheet and like in chronological order. I know when everything's due. It's all color coded, and I can just kind of look at it and be like, okay, what do I have to get done this week, or what can I start for next week? And it just helps so much, and I feel like that's a big part of also like time management and just kind of knowing that it is a lot of work and that there's a lot of parts of college, and making it doable and being able to handle it is such a big thing that you have to really learn in college.
That's something I did do at the beginning of the year. I like had seen so many people recommend doing like making a giant spreadsheet, or at least like putting all of your syllabus or syllabi together on like one page. And I did that, and now I feel like I reference it less often just because I'm getting used to each of my classes and I'm knowing what to expect. I know where to look for assignments. That was something I was terrified of at the beginning, because every single one of my like little homework assignments or like tests or quizzes or like pre-labs were on a different website.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to, at the beginning of the semester when you have to like go and like log into all those websites, buy accounts, like do all these things, like textbooks
That's
and
a lot.
stuff like that. It was just everywhere. So I definitely agree. Like the spreadsheet was so helpful with organizing and putting everything in the same place, at least to start off the semester. So
in high school,
great.
we only used Google Classroom. So I don't know if you used that, but it was so easy. It was all in one place, all the assignments. And I feel like now there's like Husky CT and Achieve and LabFlow. And it's like all these different websites. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. But it, like, again, syllabi and making the spreadsheet, it's all helpful.
Definitely.
I feel like there's just also a ton of like high school comparisons that we can make because it's so different from high school. Just the amount of freedom that we get is crazy. Like, we live on our own, we wake up, we eat, we go to class, we take exams on our own. It's like completely up to you.
Like in reality, like you really just don't have to go to class.
Yeah, exactly. Like the concept of skipping classes is so crazy to me because coming from high school,
I would
like,
never.
You just can't. Like,
Never.
it's not even an option. Like, if you don't go to school, they like call your parents. But also, why would you skip school? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Literally.
If you're not like sick or
like taking attendance in class.
Yeah.
Like even though like okay, your grade for attendance is really absolutely nothing when it comes to the end of it, but like just like the feeling of getting like your like I don't know, like walking in like not. I don't know, skipping class to me was just such a wild, like, concept in high school.
But I also will say I do it a good amount in college, and, like, it's not something I'm super proud of, but sometimes I'd be like, oh, I have bio in the morning, and then I have chem in the afternoon, and I have a chem exam. This actually literally happened yesterday. I had a chem exam in the afternoon and bio lecture in the morning, and I'm like, okay, realistically, she records the lectures, I can make up the notes later. I still haven't made up the notes, so I always do that. But I'm like, okay, what would be more beneficial for me? Which, realistically, I do think I got more benefit out of studying for my exam than going to a different class. So it's kind of like, you really have to weigh the pros and cons and know if it's actually going to benefit you. But I definitely know some people who wake up and they're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. And they just don't go. And that's the kind of thing that's crazy to me.
I feel like I'm still in high school mode where I'm kind of scared to miss a class.
Yeah.
Like, just because of the fact that, like, to me, like, college is just so much more important. I don't know why. Like, my brain just, like, switched on for some reason. Like, skipping class to me is still such, like, a wild, like, thing to do. I've skipped, I think, maybe once this entire semester. That was, like, because I had to, like, go somewhere else or whatever, like I had a different meeting, but like I'm still in high school mode, like I'm still scared to skip class.
No, I just feel like you keep saying in high school mode, like it's so different in high school, and especially like with GPAs and stuff too, like in high school I was constantly like freaking out for my GPA and trying to get it as high as I can, and looking back, the only reason we really did that is to get into college.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
And now we're in college.
Yes.
And now we're like, okay, wait, now what?
Yeah.
So most people, or a lot of people I know, are still kind of like freaking out over their GPA. But realistically, people always say like, oh, C's get degrees. Like, it's fine if you get a C because you're still passing and you're going to get a degree. And unless you're going to like a grad school or med school, GPA doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a weird perspective switch to kind of be like, wait, what am I, like, working towards now? Because I'm in college.
Even if you do, like, end up going to, like, med school or, like, dental school or something like that, it's going to be your clinical hours or your shadowing hours or your research that's going to get you there.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily your GPA that's going to be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's just kind of a weird, like, I don't know, I feel like it's just funneled into our brain, like, in high school and middle school, like, you gotta get good grades to get into college. And then you get here and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, now what? But yeah, I just feel like that also has to do with the freedom, because now you're here and you have all these different options and things you can do after college, and it's like, okay, what do I do with my time? What is most important? Which I also feel like again, we talked about time management a little bit, but also just kind of choosing what to do with your day-to-day life and choosing what to do with your time, and a big part of that is like clubs and leadership and kind of putting yourself out there and joining different organizations, which is kind of a good part to make you like a more well-rounded student and person, but also realistically, like, there's what, like 32,000 people that go here.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to make connections? You can't just make friends by walking down the street. Like,
True.
you have to join groups of people with similar interests to you, or just kind of choosing what you want to do with your time and the kind of people you want to surround yourself with.
Exactly. And so, yeah, this semester I was like so worried about like what I was going to join, because I like did come in with like the knowledge that like joining clubs, like taking leadership roles, your clinical hours, your research is going to be so much more important than like your schoolwork or your GPA. I mean, given that is part of college, but like, so I ended up joining like club track, which is something that I enjoy. Like, just, I mean, I'm making connections. I'm like, I know a ton of people because of that as well. And I ended up joining a sorority, which was a very interesting experience. Nothing like I've ever experienced before, I'll tell you that. But it has given me, honestly, so many opportunities so far. Like, I ended up interviewing for 2 leadership roles, and I got them both already.
Really?
So, thank you. But it's just the fact that, like, I'm so proud of myself, actually, for going out and, like, seeking that in September.
Yeah.
Because
like, you were fresh out of high school.
I was honestly terrified doing it, but I'm so glad I did, just because of the fact that it's, like, 4 years in the same club is definitely something that I'm going to be proud of. Yeah. And then also just, like, the connections that it's going to get me. Like, networking, like, knowing that many, like, just having access to that many, like, more people. Yeah. Like, it's just like...
And you know that you have at least one thing in common with them.
Exactly.
If you're just walking down the street of stores, like, you have no idea what people are studying or what they like to do. There's just so many people. It's kind of overwhelming.
No, definitely. That's what I actually am, like, most thankful for, is the fact that, like, because this school is so giant, I am, like, glad that I found kind of, like, a group of people that I know. Yeah. Or, like, at least someone, like, I'll see throughout the day I know. Like, instead of just walking through this giant city of a campus. Yeah.
That's how I feel with, like, my team. Because it's a pretty big team. There's, like, 45 of us, I think. But we all came to UConn to be on this team, basically. We all got recruited, and we're all, like, I don't know. I feel like they're my best friends, and, like, even if I'm not best friends with 45 people, if I'm walking down the street or if I see them in the dining hall, like, I'm going to sit with them. And that's just such a cool way to make the huge community of UConn just seem smaller and seem like a little family instead.
Definitely. Like, especially people that I, like, live down the hall from. I'll go and get breakfast with. Yeah. Or, like, you just go and, like, oh, you're walking in the same direction, great. Like, now you have, like, a conversation of the day, and then you go to your classes. Yeah. Just makes it so much easier. Like,
I know. And I feel like some people, I would say you and I are both pretty, like, friendly people. But I know some people who could just, like, walk down the hall and just, like, never say hi to anyone. Or, like, be in the bathroom and, like, brush their teeth and just, like, not even look at the person next to them. Yeah. So I feel like that's also just kind of the kind of person that you are, and, like, your ability to make friends and connections. True. But I just feel like just making those connections at UConn is also a big kind of, I don't know, like, not like whiplash, but it's just, like, such a big change from high school.
Wait, I'd like to actually say something, because only being here for 3 months, like, I feel like I haven't known, like, obviously I haven't known too many people for that long. So I feel like we were talking about, like, the making, like, best friends in college, and how, like, sometimes in like college is where you're gonna, like, meet your lifelong friends, is where you're gonna meet all these people that you're gonna spend, like, the rest of your time with, or, like, your best friend in the world. And I still feel like my best friend from high school is, like, my best friend in the world. Like, I just don't, like, at least right now, I'm, like, just so confused as to, like, how I'm supposed to, like, find a best friend in college, just because it's all so new, like, to me right now.
No, I get that, but also that was such a weird concept to me too. But these 2 girls that are on my team and lived in the room next to me last year, I would consider them my best friends now. And it's crazy because I've only known them for, like, a year and a half maybe, and, like, some of my, like, obviously I'm still really good friends, and I still have best friends at home too, but I'm like, wow, the fact that you don't have to go to school with someone for 12 years to be best friends. Like,
Yeah.
you can be best friends with someone after, like, no time. Like, last year, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I, like, moved my mattress into their room to sleep on their floor because I wanted to be with them, and my roommate was gone. So I was like, wow, I've known these people for 3 months. Like, what was that, November? So probably, like, 3-4 months. I was like, wow, like, why are we so, like, close? And I feel like that's just such a cool thing that college can bring to you.
Yeah, I feel like it just takes time. I
Yeah.
need to spend maybe a few more months here.
Definitely. I feel like it's weird to kind of walk into college, and it's definitely weird. Like, if I knew, like, a year ago that I'd be, like, flying to California to visit these people, I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's so weird. But it's definitely something new. And I also think, like, speaking of roommates and stuff, just, like, concept of if you never went to private school or anything, just the concept of having a roommate who you either is completely random or you, like, found on social media or something is so weird. You have no idea who this person is. They're probably from somewhere different from you. They probably have so many different experiences, and now you're sharing this tiny, like, I don't know, like, 40-foot room or whatever. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, especially, like, so I've shared a room with my siblings before, so I kind of knew what to expect at first, but if you've never had that experience of, like, sharing a room with, like,
No, I've shared a room with my sister. I just, like, that's my sister.
Exactly.
And this is a stranger.
Yeah, a random person. Like, you can't draw a line down the middle of the room. You,
No.
like, have to just, like, work it out.
And, of course, there's, like, those forums at the beginning of the year where they're like, oh, are you neat? Are you, like, do you stay up late? Do you like to do your homework in the room? Stuff like that. That's not enough information to know if you're going to be compatible with someone. Like...
And also, I feel like people answer it in the direction of, like, who they want to be their roommate, not who they are.
Not, like, realistically.
If you're a messy person, are you going to say that you're messy?
Probably not.
Like
and then I actually just kept seeing all these, like, TikToks where people are like, oh, when we say that we are neat in the, like, forum or something, and they show a picture of their room, and it's, like, just completely disgusting. And, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's such a weird concept, and you spend so much time with them, and, like, there's not a wall between you. Like, you wake up and you're looking at them, and you're like, wait, who is this person in my room? And you just share this close counters with.
Also, think about the fact that I know some colleges, like, will make you go random for your first year roommate.
Yeah.
And then, like, the alternative is, like, what we did where we found someone on social media. Like, my roommate's from, like, Long Island. Like, it's not like I can, like, I live in Massachusetts. It's not like we can drive 4 hours either way to, like,
meet up.
Yeah, it was just so difficult. Like, you can't meet prior to, like, moving in. I mean, if you're close, and, like, that's a benefit, I guess, but also you still met on social media. You don't know who this person is. Like,
no, and even then, like, I met my roommate last year during orientation, and it's like, that's not going to be a real, you're going to be a little bit fake. You're going to be a little bit, like, oh my god, I'm so excited to room with you. You're not going to be, like, right off the bat, like, tell me your deepest, darkest secret.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of a crazy concept to me, and I would never experience that if I didn't go to college, I feel like.
True.
But I feel like that's just kind of, I don't know, knowing how to make connections, knowing how to meet the people here and interact with people, either strangers in your class or strangers who live in your room, or, like, just kind of being able to make connections and make friends, even if they're not your best friends or if they are your best friends. And I feel like also a big part of college is just kind of independence and being on your own, especially in kind of like a health and, like, well-being kind of way, because your mommy's not here to help you. Like, if I get a little bit sick, I can't just be like, mommy, mommy, I'm sick. Like, that's on you. You either go to Shaw or you go get, I don't know, like, vitamins or
Advil.
That's
like,
it. Like, you do it all on your own, and I feel like I'm being kind of, like, sarcastic with, like, the whole mommy thing, but realistically, like, you don't realize how much your parents do for you, or how being in your own bedroom, in your own home, like, you're pretty sheltered, you're pretty, like, you always have someone there for you, And
or like doing my own laundry. Like
yeah,
I
things
know
like
how
that.
to do it. Like I do it at home, but like sometimes my parents will just get it done for me, and then I'll have like a clean laundry basket and I'll put it away. Like but like now, like when my laundry basket fills up or when I run out of clothes, I'm like, crap, wait, like I have to take care of this now. And like no one else is gonna do it for me. Like,
or even like with my dorm room, like at home, if my bedroom got a little messy, I could be like, okay, cool, I'll just go sit in the living room. I can kind of procrastinate that. But now if I get home and there's like clothes in my bed, like that's my bed, that's also like I'm gonna study in there and I'm gonna hang out in there. Like
there's nowhere else
that's my
go.
house. That one half of my room with my bed and my desk, that's my home.
Exactly.
And like just being able to stay clean and stay like neat, I don't know, it's just kind of weird that you're completely on your own and completely in this new place.
Like you're taking care of that space too. Like I've actually created a pretty good routine. Like every Sunday I'll like deep clean, like I'll wipe everything down. I've actually started vacuuming like once a week. So like just the fact that like I don't know, it feels interesting just like doing everything on your own, like in that aspect as well. Like taking care of yourself is such a huge thing.
And I think that also includes like working out. Like in high school, most people were on like sports teams, or they would go like, I don't know, to the gym in their town or something. You get here and like you said, like clubs. I think you can join a sports club, but you have to go out of your way to do that. It's not just like you go to school and like in high school you just go to practice after school. Like you go out of your way to join a sports club, or you go out of your way to go to the gym. It's so easy to wake up or like go to class and just lay in bed and be like, oh no, like I don't really feel like working out today. But that might be really new. That's why like the freshman 15 is a thing. And like also like eating well. Like you can go to the dining hall and there's tons of good stuff. You can just go get some pizza or like some mac and cheese or like dairy bar ice cream every day. Realistically, that's not healthy, and that's not what you would be eating like every day at home.
Like your parents aren't gonna be making you like chicken fingers every night. Like
exactly.
I don't know, at least maybe like I was just lucky like being in a family that would like actually cook every single night. Like my dad would always make sure I'd have something for protein because I was doing sports in high school. Like again, like I was doing gymnastics for a countless amount of years, and like going to practice was just so easy. Like because you've just been doing it for so long. You didn't
really have the option.
You didn't think about it, and then you'd come home and you'd eat like a home cooked meal, and then you just go to sleep. Like now you're just building that on your own. You have to like put the effort in to walk across campus to the rec center, like go take care of whatever you're gonna do, and then come back, maybe shower. Like that's also something you have to figure out, like and then go to the dining hall
and choose healthier foods.
Exactly.
And that's also a big part of the whole freedom thing we were talking about. Like it's so easy to choose a path where you're like, I'll go out every night, I'll not go to the gym, I'll eat pizza, I'll skip classes. It's all these habits that just you have to work towards doing on your own and picking those good habits. And because it's not easy. Like I kind of like have a cheat code because I'm like on the rowing team, so I wake up every morning and I go to practice. If I didn't, I always say that if I wasn't on the team, I don't know what I would do with myself. Because would I wake up every day at 5 to go to the gym? No, absolutely not. Would I like choose to eat healthier based on like my performance and me having practice later? Probably not either. Like I feel like being on the team kind of holds me in check, and I have such great respect for people who aren't on teams, just because you have to go every day making those decisions for yourself for no reason. You don't have to like prove to your coach that you're good enough to be on the team. You don't have to like go try to get a medal at conference or whatever. You're just doing it for yourself.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's so impressive and such a big part of college is you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for your GPA for high school to get into college. You're not doing it for your high school sports team. You're not doing it because your mom is feeding it to you. Like, it's all for yourself. And that's crazy.
That's again, crazy. like well-being and health, you're literally, like, doing it for your own personal growth. Like, that's just, like, self-respect as well. Like, that's just so incredibly, like, difficult to do. And honestly, I would know. I, like, joined club track, and, like, practices are optional, so sometimes I like haven't been
Yeah.
going to practices or whatever because it's not that huge of a commitment. But also, like, I mean, I signed up for like a rec center class today, and
Yeah.
like I could have totally, like, it's a rainy day, I don't feel like doing it, I don't feel like
Right.
walking across campus.
And most people won't.
Exactly.
There's 32,000 people at the school. Are there 32,000 people in the rec every day?
Mm-mm.
No. So it's just kind of like choosing to make those decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
Is a big part of college. And I think just kind of to wrap it all up, you've been here for 3 months and you've
Yeah.
already like learned all that.
Mhm.
You don't have the option to like not learn this.
Mhm.
You get here and it's like, bam, you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
college student.
Slap in the face.
You go to the rec, you go to the dining hall, you do your own laundry, you live in a dorm with a stranger.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to get used to that.
And half of that's within the first week, too.
Yeah, not even. And they'd say like, oh, orientation, oh, like the freshman wow weekend or whatever. No, that's
No.
not real. It's real when you go to class and you have an 8 a.m. and then you also have like a club that you want to join. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's so quick.
You have to
And I
figure it
feel
out.
like some people, like it sounds like you kind of knew what to do your first semester and like you already made like you joined clubs, you joined sorority, you like go to the rec. That's awesome. And I
Mhm.
feel like most people are still kind of either in shock or like haven't made those decisions yet.
Mhm.
And it's just different for everyone. But
Mhm. Also, I was like, when people, because I saw all over social media, like, you have to put yourself out there. You
Yeah.
have to make yourself uncomfortable. And so at first I thought that was like in a social aspect because like I suck at making new friends. Like I
Yeah.
suck at meeting new people. But then I like kind of slowly realized like what made me like uncomfortable to reach the point that I am now was like making progress with going to the rec center or like the first time I went to the rec center, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, like, joining the club. Like, it took me so, like, maybe a week and a half in, like, to realize that, like, those were the things that made me, like, uncomfortable in order to, like, give myself a spot at UConn, you know?
Yeah.
Like, almost, like, just to find my place. Like, because I had, like, such a different idea at first. Like, I was, like, struggling. I was like, no, I want to stay inside all the time. No, I had, like, what... I feel like I honestly did it, like, really well. Like, I feel like I'm so happy that I actually, like, went out and, like, did the things that, like, I honestly had no clue would bring me to where I am today. Like, in the past 3 months, like, that's zero time at all.
Yeah.
Like, two
It's like
and a half
fraction
months
of your
even.
life, yeah.
Like, it's just so insane to think about how much I've actually completed within, like, the past 3
I know.
It's crazy.
And I feel like also just knowing what UConn has to offer, or like your school specifically, whatever, because there's so much, and they always talk about how there's like, like 700 clubs or something like that.
Countless.
Like so many clubs. The rec, like you're paying for the rec, you're paying to go here, you're paying for all these like opportunities, and there's so many different free like things. Like there's so much stuff here, and it's so easy to lay in your bed all day and just kind of ignore that. You're paying to go here.
You gotta take
advantage. You got into the school.
Yeah.
You're paying. Use it. And I feel like that's a big also part of just like how like learning in college and learning to use the what's the word I'm looking for? Just like what's offered to you.
Yeah. Utilizing resources.
Yeah, exactly.
Like actually
Which
getting yourself
sounds
out
like
there.
well, yeah, obviously, but you don't realize how hard it is until you get here. And there's so many options. You have to pick what clubs you want to do. You have to pick, like, I don't even know. There's just too much.
And honestly, sometimes you just have to trust, like, what other people say.
Yeah.
Like, while rushing for sorority, I was, like, the whole week, I hate this, I don't want to be here, like, I don't want to do this, but I was, like, at that point committed. Once that first day was over, I was like, okay, I've put too much work into this. Like, I've not even spent a week at college. I'm terrified, and I'm so anxious. And then, like, people were just like, it's so worth it. And I'm just like, all right, okay, and now I'm, like, happy I did it. So you just have to, like, throw yourself in the loop and, like, take advantage. Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I just feel like, to wrap it up, obviously we're both still pretty new to it, but I feel like we've already learned so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're just going to keep learning for the next 4 years, or if we go to other higher education after. It's just constantly learning. And
Just
we didn't
personal
mention
growth.
once talking about, like, classes or taking notes.
Oh, yeah.
That's not how you learn in college. You learn from all of this other stuff that we were just talking about, which I think is so scary, but so cool.
So yeah, thanks for listening. I think this is gonna be one of the final episode. So if you've made it this far, thanks so much for listening to us
We
talk.
love our fans. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.